Thank you, John. Thank you, Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to tell you about Lapco, which, as some of you know, is the Lap-Colon training program for surgeons in the United Kingdom. Tell you about how we attempted to elevate and standardize the quality of training provided within that program and our experience of its transfer across the pond to the United States. No disclosures. Thank you for the invitation from Sages, and it's a pleasure to be here and in this lovely city. That's my hometown of Plymouth, and that's my home hospital of Derriford. So this Lapco program is a competence-based and performance-managed program in England that took place between 2008 and 2009 that was essentially based around supervised hands-on mentorship style of training for surgeons, who we call consultants in the United Kingdom, you might call specialists. And entry was by full-time consultants within the National Health Service. And at all stages, we conducted quite rigorous forms of educational assessment and analysis of clinical outcomes as well. During the life of the program, we trained 133 specialists, and we eventually recruited 67 experts in lap-colon surgery. And the program achieved increased adoption of lap-colon surgery from 5 to 60%. We shortened the learning curve from 150 self-taught down to less than 20 cases, and we achieved good outcomes for the patient undergoing surgery during a process of training. And our hypothetical analysis told us that we saved the UK taxpayer approximately $7 million. So, becoming an expert surgeon, you'll find the terms on this slide familiar, all you experts in surgical training, and competence as a trainer really comes into focus during training practice and persistence, where facilitation and skills as a trainer are absolutely key to successful journey from being an unconscious, inexpert surgeon to a consciously expert surgeon. And we realized that our 67 expert trainers weren't all necessarily experts in training, and nor did they use the same techniques for training. And so the objective of our Train the Trainers course in Lapco was to both elevate and standardize the quality of training that our 67 experts could provide. And the structure of the two-day course is around what we call set, dialogue, and closure, which means basically what you do before, what you do during, and what you do after training. So set is all about preparation, alignment of agendas, setting objectives, and setting ground rules. During the case itself, about using clear language, avoiding interference, and using performance-enhancing instruction. And afterwards, of course, you need to have a good take-home message through a process of performance-enhancing feedback. And the aim of this course really is to allow surgeons, many of whom have become unconsciously competent, both in terms of how they operate and in some respects how they train as well, to be able to deconstruct the tasks required for lap-colon surgery, to be able to deliver them safely and effectively to a person who is requiring training. And this is the format for the two-day course. It starts in a classroom style. There are 6 delegates and 3 or 4 faculty, and we start with a very interactive form of dialogue with all of the delegates. And we move into the lab during day 1 as well, and we rehearse various skills. You can see Tom Cecil, who's in the audience, helping with some of the practical skills rehearsals there. And then on day 2, we transfer into the OR itself, and each of these 6 delegates gets an opportunity to train for 20 minutes and then have their training critiqued and evaluated and feedback with a take-home message by all of the delegates on the course and, of course, the faculty. And this is one of the examples of one of the exercises that we go through and practice and hopefully embed in the people on the course, and it's called 6 Steps, which is an acronym provided to us by Brian Duncan's group at Mighty here in Houston. And that's a means really to try and avoid taking over in theatre to provide a more meaningful training opportunity, so to stop the procedure, ask the trainee to identify what's going on, and then have structured teaching before proceeding. We evaluated this course probably, arguably, like no other. And if you want to look up Kirkpatrick's levels of course evaluation, they've been around for decades. But basically, we've gone through levels 1 up to 4. And I won't go into details to what those all mean. But in terms of level 3, the impact on residents in the home hospital of delegates have been in the course all mostly had significant improvements in in the abilities of faculty who've been on our course in terms of what they deliver as a trainer in the eyes of their own residents, using a form that we devised called the mini-STAR form, which is a surgeon trainee trainer assessment report. And we published that 2 years ago in our Annals of Surgery. Also, what we noticed, and most compellingly for the impact of any surgical course, is the improvement in the ability of experts to get their delegates through the proficiency gain curve, and this is a cumulative sum plot. So you can see that as a result of the impact of the course, that experts were able to shorten the learning curve in people that they are training. And they also were more likely to develop agreed learning points, encourage self-reflection in their trainees, and encourage team awareness. Next question, how could we get our work over to the United States? And we're very, very fortunate. I'm so grateful to Brian Duncan inviting us over and helping with the telementoring program that he's been running at Mighty to do with Lapco surgery, and also inviting us to join up with SAGES. And this is day one of the course in Nashville 2 years ago. You can see John Page to my right, the chairman, bad taste in socks, but an excellent colleague and a superb member of faculty. So this is a one-day TT course that we applied to the SAGES Adopt Postgraduate Hands-On Surgical Training Program, which 2 years ago was a ventral hernia cadaver course. And we took half of the faculty from SAGES, half of the faculty, self-selected, and we put them through the one-day program. And then, so we had two halves of the course, one half with our trainees, who you can see the delegates there, who've been on the course, then providing training to that course on day two, and the other half using whatever skills they had already within them to deliver the course to the other half. And that's the training taking place on day two in SAGES. And we also conducted mini-STAR analysis of those faculty who'd been on our TT course. And without going into too much detail, the delegates that have been on our course found it useful and that it influenced their teaching practice. The learners that were subject to their skills found they had a better understanding of the course, the objectives, the organization, the use of time, and good performance-enhancing feedback that they took away. Interestingly, the Group A trainers rated themselves significantly lower than their expert observers, and the analysis of their own selves by Group B faculty as well. And that's published in Surgical Endoscopy. So to conclude and summarize, this basically, the take-home message for this is what we call set, dialogue, and closure. Having a good structure to training, we think has been shown to improve the skills of trainers and their ability to get their delegates or their trainees or their residents even up the proficiency gain curve, particularly for lap colon surgery, but certainly this is applicable to any branch of surgery, particularly laparoscopic. We have just published a book called the Lapco Manual. Again, myself and Tom Cecil is in the audience are editors, and we've been very fortunate to have Brian Duncan on this journey with us. And we do have some leaflets that can get you a 20% discount if you want to buy this book. So thank you very much once again. I am going to have to run off, I'm afraid, Chairman, because I have a plane to catch to get home.
You have a long flight home. Thank you very much.